Joined in studio by Pablo Rodriguez. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Can I just say, you look amazing. You look great.
Thanks.
No, seriously.
I had
for
a lot of
everything
time
you've been
these
through.
days, so
Yeah, I guess.
I've been walking a lot, playing some guitar, so I'm doing okay. It's been a tough year, but I'm fine.
I bet. Let's bring everybody back up to date if we can. So we go back to last June. You're elected Liberal leader. Everything looks great. Liberals are excited. And then fast forward this past December, you stepped down as Liberal leader. We all know what happened. But then yesterday in La Presse, you're basically vindicated.
Yes.
Now, I will want to be entirely sort of clear here. You are vindicated personally, but there is still apparently an issue with some of the stuff, right?
Team.
Okay.
It's important to understand that in a campaign there's hundreds of volunteers, right? But there's the candidate and there's the core team. Me and my core team, like it's clear for l'UPAC and for Directeur Général des Élections that we're totally clear, which we knew, by the way. Like what came out yesterday, we all knew that, but now it's coming out through the officials, and it's important that Quebecers have access to the truth.
Okay. Again, with respect to what happens going forward, Elections Quebec still may have some issues with what happened, not to do with you or your team.
No, not at all. No, not with me, not with the team.
Not with you, right.
No.
But in terms of what might have happened, not that you're involved.
In one case or two,
okay.
with people that did things on their own side, but they were not related to my core, not to my team.
Okay. Which you have said all along, by the way, to be fair. Okay,
yeah.
That was never an issue. You know, I was thinking today when you were coming in, I don't know how fair a question it is or not, given what's transpired, because this was such a crazy thing that happened in Quebec politics, knowing what you know now, but by virtue of knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently that you didn't do?
I could have been better at managing this, but the way it happened, it was so violent, and I'm using this word on purpose. Like every day something was coming out, but without being checked, without being a fact, which now is demonstrated by the inquiries that there was nothing there, but there was no room for me to explain what was going on. There was no oxygen. It was really tough. And honestly, Aaron, I hope this never happens again to anyone. And this is, in a way, a consequence of traditional media like yours here doing their job. They're traditional disappearing. And it's a problem being replaced by the social media.
Yeah, but in this case, the Journal de Montréal, for whatever reason, decided to start, I'll use the word piling on, without really a lot of information. Those texts that they said that they had, which have never been fully revealed as to who sent them, we still don't know, do we?
No. And what I was saying from day one is that I don't think those texts are accurate. I think they've been manipulated. That's an impression. I'm not an expert, not for me to say that, but the UPAC and Directeur Général des Élections are pretty much coming to the same conclusion. So it's the only part of the inquiry that's still going on because they want to go to the bottom of this and understand who did it.
So just to bring people back, if we could, the original charge here was people were being offered brownies, $100 bills to vote for you. This was going to be in the Liberal leadership campaign. And then there's a second part, which is people were making $500 donations, but were being paid back. So in essence, they became straw donors. They're gone. That's over. That's finished.
But actually, you said charged, but I was never charged, by the way. And I met with them on a voluntary basis as a witness. Same thing for 100% of the people around me. So we were never there as suspects or anything like that. So they could never have been charges. And I remember talking because I talk to them on a regular basis and saying, oh, come on, guys, what's going on? Let us know, when you get to the bottom of this. And I said, okay, so I've been cleared. And they said to me, you were not cleared because you were not under investigation. Yeah. You were never under investigation. But that was not the perception, Aaron. So I didn't give an interview for 9 months because I was waiting for this to happen. Now the inquiry is over. I know they told me exactly what they're heading. So it's time for the truth to come out.
So as you say, perception, perception is reality. Here you have a political campaign right now that's going on. Yep. Does this hurt the provincial Liberal Party?
I don't think so. No. The fact that we're talking about this in a way, it's a good thing because it's clearing the air, and the inquiry has led to. I mean, at the end of the day, it's clear that no one's done anything wrong, with the exception maybe one or two people on their side, but has nothing to do with my team or anything like that.
So you consider this case closed?
Well, it will never be closed for the rest of my life because I was leader. I was very optimistic, and I thought that I really had a shot with the team we were mounting. But so personally, it's always going to be tough. But I'm also looking forward. Remember, I was Minister of Transport, Aaron, and Lieutenant of Quebec, and MP in Ottawa, and I left this because I didn't like what was going on in Quebec, pitting Anglophones against Francophones, attacking immigrants, and then the Petits Québécois going up in the polls. So I left Ottawa, and I had a very good job, by the way, because I wanted to make a difference here. I won the leadership, but at the end, it didn't work out.
I should have asked Charles Maillard this question, but I didn't. But I'll ask you, with respect to now, this, as I said, case closed. You're now doing interviews because you're no longer considered, under suspicion of any kind here. Did Charles Maillard, and if he hasn't, would you consider saying, you know what, I'd like to help you in your campaign to get the Liberal leader elected in a provincial election?
I'm there. If anyone wants an advice, I'm there to offer.
Publicly, if they want you to join?
I have some experience, but if you're asking me if I would run, no.
No, but would you support them? Publicly go out on the stumps with them as well, saying, I'm here. Any way I can help, I will.
I'm helping some personal friends like Desiree McGrath, who's a good friend, and others.
Okay.
I'm there if they need me.
I have a couple other questions. We don't have a ton of time. Number one, Marwa Risky, which was one of those things nobody fully understood at the time. We know now first of all, she left the party. Yeah. She sat as an independent. Now she's gone. She's got a job in radio, as it turns out. Where are we on that situation? Do you speak to her? I know you did when this was
still. I never spoke back to her. No, this for me, and I don't want to talk about Marwa. The only thing I'm going to say is that I felt like this was a huge betrayal. I named her parliamentary leader. She was the boss, with all the powers, and then she turned against me, against her own party. So for me, that was a huge betrayal.
Okay, I guess my next question is, what's next for Pablo Rodriguez?
Not a clue. I don't know. I had to wait for this to happen. I had to wait for the air to be cleared. I had to wait for the inquiry to be over, and for the people to learn what we already knew, that we had done nothing wrong. Now I really want to move on, but this will to still fight for the people and make a change in society, it's still there. It's still in my heart. It's still in my blood. I still love politics, but I don't see me going back to politics, not on short term for sure.
I'm surprised by that answer. You still have the drive, you still have the fire, but you don't see yourself going back?
Not for now, not for a while. But if you ask me what I'm going to do, I don't have a clue. I've been reading a lot, reflecting on what happened, reflecting on the state of our democracy a lot, because what happened there is unacceptable, and I hope it never happens again to anyone. And hopefully I'll find out what I want to do when I grow up.
You're. I was going to say relatively. You're a young man.
Well, relatively young.
All
yes.
things considered.
Yes.
You could run for office tomorrow. You could
I could,
go back.
Of course.
Could you see going back to the federal government side?
I would never say no to anything, because again, my dad told me there's no perfect tool to change the world. The human beings don't have a perfect tool to change the world, to improve society. The best tool that we have up to now is politics. That's why I joined as a kid. I was very young. And that's why I still have that in my blood, because that's the way you change world. That's the way you fight poverty. That's how you help seniors. That's how you do a lot of things. So do I have that inside of me? 100%. But am I going now back? I don't see that.
Has anyone talked to you about going back?
Not now, because of the context.
All right. So it's only been a day?
Yeah.
But maybe by the end of the week, someone else will say, hey, come on back. You wouldn't say no.
I honestly, I don't know if I was approached what I would say.
You wouldn't say no.
I don't know, Aaron. It's still in the blood.
You're just finished telling everybody that you're in it, you want to do it. This is why you got into politics to begin with. Why would you stop?
There's no specific reason for me to stop. Now, I'm not saying I'm stopping. It's just that all of this happened. It was huge, had a huge impact on my family, my friends, my career. It was extremely violent. And again, for nothing. And I hope it doesn't happen again. Yeah. So I need to see what I want to do. And I'm open for discussion.
Did you lose any friends over this?
No, you know what? The beauty of this is that people are like people around me, and even strangers stopped me on the street. 2 days ago, I live in NDG. A woman came in and gave me a huge hug. And I'm saying, I'm so sorry for you, and thank you for what you've done for us. And I said, thank you, madam. And hugs don't happen on a daily basis, but people stop on the street on a daily basis.
I was going to say, she might have mistaken you for Kenny Rogers. That might have had something to do with it. Listen, I wish you the best. It's a terrible part of a Quebec political history. There's no question about that right now. I'm glad that you have been absolved. And I do hope that, when the time is right, not today, you consider getting back into politics, either provincially, federally, or whatever level you want to, because I think people would like to see someone with that kind of desire and fire represent them somewhere. So
well, if it happens, I'll come back to see you with great pleasure.
I hope you will. Thank you so much for coming in.
Unmistakably Canadian.
It's the music that raised you.
The artists raising the bar.
Hi, this is Brian Adams.
Hey, my name's Brett Emmons. I'm from the Glorious Sons.
Hi, I'm Nelly Furtado.
Made in Canada. The station that champions Canadian music.
Loud, proud, and all yours.
No passports required. Just press play.
Tap into Made in Canada now on iHeartRadio.ca
or the free iHeartRadio app.